No, live video starting. Oh, wait. Hello. It was already going. Okay. Sometimes there's like a little bit of a lag here on Facebook. Oh, it said 30 seconds, 37 seconds, and now it says 14 seconds. Okay. Well, good morning. It is Tuesday, July 15th at around 10 in the morning Eastern. Um, I am here to say hello and chat with anyone who happens to be online right now about homeopathy. Um, hang on a second, something. We are a family-friendly homeopathy practice here. Okay. My name is Emma Banks. I work in homeopathy. I see clients mostly one-to-one, mostly adults, because I'm trained a lot like in the like psychological, mental, emotional part, which is really what we mostly see in North America. Like someone had one of the posts recently talking about like a physical issue, and that flares up from stress. I think that's something that is just so not. I know that's something that's so common, and I think that's why one of the reasons why classical homeopathy is so amazing is because when you have something physical that shows up, um, and it is doesn't just go away. Like maybe it shows up once, goes away, and then a few months or a few years later it shows up again, goes away, shows up, goes away, and then eventually it's like, okay, this is actually bothering me, I have to do something about it. Often at that point we're like, ooh, it's true, I am going through a stressful period in my life, or I had a stressful period in my life and I just pushed through it, and now I have the chance to process it. That's what often happens when something physical comes up, is that it is really influenced by stress. Now, stress in its purest form, like it's good, right? You know, um, it's a good reaction, just like any of the emotions. But when it becomes chronic, like when it's not just, oh, I'm stressed. This is this is an example that I've used before. I don't know why it comes to my mind, but it just feels really pertinent. When you're crossing the street and they have, sometimes it has the white walking guy, but sometimes it has a number, right? And it's like you have 30 seconds, 29 seconds, 28 seconds. And of course, if you're with kids and you get there at like, I don't know, 20 seconds, you're like, okay, let's get across the street before the 20 seconds goes. Okay. So there's a little bit of stress that happens, right? And you're like, okay, we're going to get across. And it's like good and it's fun. And once you get across, you're like, 0, we're on the sidewalk. Yay, we made it. Stress goes away. Okay. Awesome. Stress is great. That stress is great. We had fun. We did a little bit of something physical, right? And then when we finished, it went away. That's probably why it's a good example, because there's the physical part. However, if you are, if like your life feels like that all the time, like I need to make it to the end before, um, before the timer goes off, like if that's like, okay, wake up and breakfast and getting ready for the day and going through the day, whether that's at work or doing school with the kids or whatever it is, if it's always feeling like that, yeah, that's chronic stress, and that's like I think we know that that doesn't feel very good, and it's hard on our bodies and our systems. So, um, of course, it can come from many other things, but the idea is that when it's not something that goes away, when it's something that presses on us again and again and again, or it just is like so much always there that it just becomes part of your life. And then it's like instead of going back instead of like being stressed and going back to a state of like calm and what do they call it? Rest and digest. You know, fight or flight. We have fight, flight, or freeze, right? And now we have also rest and digest. If you don't actually ever get to go back to rest and digest, I mean, it causes a lot of problems. So, oh yeah, the example that I was saying, if so, in that one, we go to fight or flight, we get across the street, we go back to rest and digest. Great. But like, say you're in that state all the time. So instead of like being stressed and then going back to not stressed, you're always staying at like a level of I'm always minimally stressed. And then you get more stressed and go back to minimally stressed. Like, when do you get to rest and digest? So usually the first thing that I do with people, even if they're coming, well, okay. So usually when people come to me, they have a physical issue that they have related to stress, whether that's past trauma or present stressful situation, or maybe they've run into an environmental toxin such as mold or something like that. I am looking to get you relief for the issue that brought you in, which is usually a physical thing. That you've related to the stress, and get your system out of fight or flight so that you can have those rest and digest moments. Or we can take down the overall level, or we take down take down the intensity, take down the overall level, or allow more movement so that you can go, like, even if you have still the really stressful moments, you can get back to some of the rest and digest. So yeah, relieving the chronic fight, flight, freeze is usually the first step. It's huge. It's really huge. Like, most of us, I think, are living in this all the time. So getting out of that is incredible. And when you're out of that, your issue doesn't seem as big because you can use all of your brain to solve it. Like, you can manage things, basically, is what I'm saying. So whereas something was just over the top unmanageable before, once you're not in fight or flight anymore, then it becomes a lot more manageable. And then also, when we get a really, really good match for the stress, it covers that physical thing. It's not unconnected. It is not unconnected that specific physical thing is coming up in the way that it's coming up. Because in homeopathy, if you've done a bit of homeopathy, you know we all have all these like details that you're like, why do they need to know this? But they need to know it. It's like whatever the physical issue is, like, is it what's it better for? Heat, the time of day? What's it worse for? Worse for like napping, worse for, it could be anything, worse for eating kiwis or whatever. A lot of details. And we go into like exactly if it's a pain, especially like what is the exact sensation of what are you really experiencing, because pain covers, I mean, a multitude of different experiences and sensations, right? So once we can get more exact at that, then we can get a more exact remedy. And we find that with that exact remedy for that issue, it matches for what is the struggle of the stress inside the person, and we find that by seeing like where we have reaction rather than like choosing the action. You just have reaction or like knee-jerk responses, and that shows us when we see that place where the person has the knee-jerk responses, or when they go into when it's just like overwhelming. And when we can match a remedy to that, then you get the freedom. That's what I'm really passionate about. I'm like, just like being able to be free, and I don't like being conditioned by things. So I also want that for my patients, my clients, like the freedom to be able to use your homeopathic medicines for acute stuff at home, the freedom um, from just reacting. So there are stressful situations where we just go into reaction for, and often those are high emotion, either high emotion or absence of emotion, which is just like because the emotion is so high, we block it out, which happens a lot so that we can survive day to day, right? Um, but then with the homeopathy, if we can lower the intensity of that overwhelm, then you have the freedom to then choose your action, um, less conditioned. So I help you with what you came in for, but in order to help you with that, we also look at like, how did it get there? Okay, so that was my talk today about classical homeopathy and what we help with. It's really like getting out of that fight or flight feels amazing because you get to have a more experiences in life. Because when we're in our flight or flight, it's like our range of what we get to experience is smaller, and it's stressful. When we get out of fight or flight, we have a larger range, and that part was less stressful too. Okay, have a good day, and please, anytime, comment, questions. I'm around. I want to do like little lives every day this month, so I look forward to chatting with you.